Americans are weighing in on the Trump administration's policies in the Supreme Court in a new poll from Marquette Law School. Joining me now to talk about their findings is Marquette Law School Director, my friend Charles Franklin. How are you, Professor?
Good to be here.
Nice to have you. We talk, it seems like every couple of months about this. What does this poll in particular stand out more than the others?
I think the biggest thing is how wide the range of approval for President Trump is across different issues. You know, we almost always talk about overall job approval, and that's at 46% approve, 54 disapprove in this poll. But across issues, it ranges from a high of 56% approving of how he's handling border security to a low of just 34% approval for how he's handling inflation. And other issues range in between those two numbers. So don't think of just a single approval number. Think about how that depends on which issues people are talking about.
Why do you think there's such a wide range?
Well, I think, first of all, on the border, we know from the statistics that border apprehensions are down a lot from last December. And in this poll, the public sees that. A large majority say they believe that apprehensions are down quite a bit. So that's a policy Trump campaigned on, and he seems to have succeeded on. On the other hand, he also promised an end to inflation and a fall off in prices, and that's not happened. And that's tied closely to his invocation of new tariffs. Tariffs are the second lowest approval rating that he has. Only 37% approve of how he's handling tariffs. Those two together, people think tariffs will raise prices, will hurt the economy, and they're not for those things.
What about the war in Ukraine?
That comes in third on approval, and it's only 40% that approve of how he's handling the Russia-Ukraine war. You know, this is a time when he's had some meetings with leaders and a conversation with Putin, but the public by and large is not very supportive of how he's handling that.
The most important issue is inflation and the cost of living, right?
Indeed. And I think that's important because it means that the thing people are most concerned with, 36% say that's their most important problem, is the one that Trump does the worst on. On the other hand, immigration, which is one of his better issues, only 9% cite that as the most important issue. So where he's strong, the public doesn't see it as much of a problem. Where he's weak, that's where the public sees the most important problem.
And foreign policy is 2%, right?
Yes, we see a lot of single-digit things. Foreign policy is way down in importance. Also, abortion policy is only 2%. That was a prime issue in the past, but it really has dropped off in this month's poll.
All right, Dr. Charles Franklin, I'm sure we'll be talking to you again very soon.
Thank you.
Take care.